Hello, fellow netizens. This is Frank Jolly back again. This time, my voice is not very tired. I have quarantined myself in my office for now. It's the second week. I'm coming to the second week, and yes, for those of you who don't know my story, you have to check my last video posting. Story goes like this. When I discovered that one of my housemates was COVID positive, I told him that he has got to get himself quarantined in a quarantine center or even hospitalized because he was like coughing quite badly. And he said that the Ministry of Health has ordered him to home quarantine himself in the room next to mine. Now, as a house tenant, we share the same kitchen, the same washing machine, and same room, and living room, and the toilet. So I said to him, "How I am a COVID negative person. So how can they quarantine you in the same house I'm staying?" So it is strange because yes, only in Malaysia. Yes, only in Malaysia. In Singapore, China, or whatever other countries, if a person is COVID positive, an ambulance will come and pick him up and take him straight to the hospital or to the quarantine center. But not in Malaysia. Problem is, with 20,000 cases a day and the hospital all brim, there's no beds. There's no at the quarantine centers, there's no beds. And at the hospital, there's no. So the whole medical system has gone haywire. It's like it's a dismal failure. Okay, I'm trying to find words to say. And of course, you know that the worst case scenario is that we are now the worst nation affected by the worst nation in the world affected by the COVID crisis. And those who are COVID positive are forced to quarantine themselves with COVID negative persons, even families, husband and wives. Husband is COVID positive, wife is not, but he has to be confined or quarantined in the same house with the family members who are not quarantined, who are not COVID positive, so the family dies together. If you have a housemate who is COVID positive, don't call the ambulance because they won't come. From the story I heard, all ambulances have been redesignated as hearses. You know hearses? They carry dead bodies. And the story goes that even, you can call an ambulance if the person who contracted COVID died. You can call them, and then only they will come and take the bodies. But of course, the hospital mortuaries are full to the brim as far as the compartments where they keep dead bodies. No more. Now they have containers. At first they were stacking them on the floor, but no space. So put them in refrigerated containers. People are donating containers for the dead bodies. So unless you have a family member who is COVID dead, that means COVID positive dead, COVID positive and died, then only you can call the ambulance to come and fetch him. Other than that, he has to be quarantined in his house. And of course, if you look at me, you can see I'm an old man, right? Geriatric, whatever we call OKU, because I suffered a mild stroke. And okay, geriatric. I mean, orang what? Golden what? What do you call it? What do you call it? The warga emas. I keep for warga emas means golden years. Our the people who are over 50, 60 years old. We are actually in, you know, we are in the high risk category. We can easily contract the virus. So how can they let my roommate be quarantined in his room with me next door, listening to him coughing the whole night, going to the toilet? We have to cross each other, and I'm going to be affected. I've been injected twice, Sinovac. I didn't look at the injection, so I don't know whether it's those false injection. I mean, empty syringe. What do you call it? Sinovac. Because you don't see anywhere. No, that's a joke. So I've been in vaccinated twice, so I have my certificate. But of course, now being in contact with a COVID positive person, I have to undergo another test. I went to the clinic at Puchong, Batu Empat, sorry. There's a Puchong 13, 14. I went there and did a swab test, and of course they gave me this band. This band meaning, can you read on it? What it says? Meaning that I have to undergo quarantine. So I said, where do I have to undergo? Of course, they said your own room, or you can find another place. So I gave the address of my office. This is my office. Okay, you can see it's. I'm here. There's all this books at the back. I'm doing stationery and also some provisions. So I asked to quarantine myself in my office. Okay, and of course I brought my mattress. This is not a place to stay, but I brought my mattress and my fan and air conditioning. I don't think you can see. Okay, you can see from there. Okay, whatever. So this is my second week of quarantining myself in the office. Of course, the management doesn't allow it, but then they call the police. But of course, I told the police, where else are you going to take me? Okay, where else can I go? So they said, I can quarantine myself in the office, provided I don't go out of the office. I don't open my office for customers to come in, and I don't go out. Then I asked them, what about toilet facilities? And then they spoke to the management. The management says that I can only go one direction, to the OKU toilet and do my business, and I've got to come back immediately, and I've got to be in this room for the next actually it's already 1 week past, so I got another week to go. So I'll be here in this room. Presently it is 3 o'clock, I think, in the morning. I don't know if you can see a clock there. It says 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I don't sleep at night because the air conditioning is not on. So the air conditioning comes on in the morning, 9 o'clock. And since my office is closed, as you can see, the doors are closed and it's sealed. I don't do any business in the morning. So I sleep in the morning and I do my talk shows at night, okay? So here I am, second week, sweaty. I have a lot of my stuff. This is to keep myself clean. I've got wet ones. I've got my water. I've got my drinks. And food is brought in by the guards, by the way. They bring the food. I will pay them for 2 weeks supply. They get it from the restaurant downstairs, and they bring it up here, and they leave it in front of my desk, and I got to come and take it. Like actually it's like in prison, but it doesn't matter for me because I I told them under no circumstances am I going to quarantine myself in my house, although it's the most comfortable place in the world. But I'm not going to quarantine myself next to a COVID positive patient. I see him coughing at night. I'm sorry, I have nightmares, okay? So, I have, I've sent out SOS messages to friends telling them that if they can understand my situation, I'm out of business for 2 weeks and I'm quarantining myself, and I printed some kind of posters here asking for help. SOS, if they can send. Many of my friends who, I told them that if they can donate, I'll give them the assurance that I'll give it back to them when things get better. At this present moment, I need money for food, okay? So if you want to donate, just make sure it's a small amount. This is basically my white flag, okay? This is my white flag, and it's printed in with some black wordings on the white flag so that they can understand my situation. In the meantime, please, if you can, I want to advise, give some advice, okay? I want to put in my 2 cents worth if you're going to donate money to me, okay? We are really in a crisis situation, okay? The fact is that most people, if they know that they come into contact with a COVID positive case, they would never ever want to report it to the authorities because they are afraid of the 2-week lockdown, okay? But I'm following SOS. I'm sorry, I have to do it. And the rules, of course. So there are many of them who don't report, okay? They don't report. So there are a lot of positive. I'm not positive, COVID positive, no. Okay, I'm not, but there are many COVID positive cases walking around you without any bands, and you're not aware. So please, you'll have to protect yourself. Number one, assume that the person next to you is COVID positive, okay? Because you don't know. You don't know, especially those foreigners who are asking. In fact, the guy who contracted the virus, for the first few days, he didn't tell me. But the day when another tenant moved out and told me that he was COVID positive, I asked him, why didn't you tell me? He said he's afraid, because if he tells me, I'll ask him to leave the house. And that's exactly, of course, what I did. But then the government has given him a letter saying that he has to self-quarantine himself in his room because there is no other places available for him. The medical system has all gone down. It's coming to a crashing halt, okay? We can't do anything. I'm not blaming the government, okay? I'm not here playing any blame game, but I realize that the government is unable to handle the situation, and everybody is blaming them because they say the back door, blah blah. I don't know what's the story behind it, but they're electing a new prime minister to solve the situation. But if you think the new prime minister is going to solve the situation, think again now. Unless you're going to call Superman who flies in, it's what bird? It's a plane. It's Superman who comes in and solves the situation. It's not easy to solve this situation. This COVID crisis is not easy. You're dealing with a virus that is invisible. You can't see. Okay? Actually, it was a huge monster. Okay, huge monster like a dinosaur, for example. It's easy. 100,000 dinosaurs come. You just mobilize the army with your C4 explosives. Just wipe them off the face of the earth. But you're dealing with a small creature that you can't see. A creature that is not even bothered about it. What race you are, what religion you are. It's only wanting to wipe out the entire human race from the planet Earth. Okay, just think about that. So whenever anybody comes out with all these sentiments and the condemning government, and this guy is doing the wrong thing and that guy is doing, Okay, just realize that the government can't solve a new government, a new prime minister, unless he's Superman. He won't be able to solve your problem. The problem can only be solved by yourselves, the man in the mirror. The man, look at the man in the mirror. You are the only one who can protect your lives against this COVID crisis. Okay, I mentioned earlier the man in the mirror. We have to keep on wearing this. We got to isolate ourselves. The person who is guaranteed to not to contract the virus will go up to a mountain and go into a small cave and spend the next 20 years there. I don't know, 20 years, 10 years or whatever. But it is not easy. I did mention, I gave an analogy that if you go blindfolded into a boxing ring and fight this guy called Muhammad Ali, those of you who don't know who Muhammad Ali is, ask your grandfather, grandmother, they'll tell you. Okay, going and fight this guy blindfolded and expect to win. Sorry, you can't see the virus. Another analogy is that why is the elephant afraid of the mouse? When he sees the mouse, it runs off. Why? Because the mouse can climb into its ear and bite off its eardrum and the elephant will die. So think about that. Just think about that, okay? Think about the only person who can save your life now in this situation that has gone out of control is you. So, in the meantime, this is Fauzi Jale, Frank Jale, signing off. And down there, you can see my subscribe. Please subscribe. I am going to put in my 2 cents worth here. I've seen a lot of comedians. I was actually a newscaster, a radio announcer in the 70s or what. So when I see all these comedians, Harris, James Leong coming into the air, and now they're giving talks, most of them are more comedy than anything, but I think it's great. What they're doing is that they are doing their part to find a solution, because the solution is with us. Don't expect the politicians to be able to solve our problems, please. Okay, they in other situations like running the country and all that, it's okay, but this is it's a different situation. Please understand that. Okay, so in the meantime, I just don't want to go further. I'm very tired. My body is sticky. I haven't had a bath. Seriously, I haven't had a bath for more than 1 week now. And luckily, you won't be able to smell me and my armpit or whatever. But please, I'm just putting in my 2 cents worth. And please support my channel. I'll be coming in often with more of my I don't know, suggestions or whatever, but I can't do much. Okay, so I can only advise you all that it is you. Okay, and the other thing is that here I stood my ground. I stood my ground when the police said you have to quarantine yourself in the house with another quarantine. But stand your ground, okay? Because it's your life, okay? It's your life. It's my life. I ain't going to live. I'm going to quote Bon Jovi. Okay? It's my life. I ain't going to live forever. So I am doing this. I stood my ground, and when the police came to escort me out, I said, I'm locking the door. You can't come in. I called a superior, and they said that, yes, I am following the SOP laws, and I can quarantine myself in my place of choice. I am paying for this Shoplot. It's mine. Of course, outside is management. So if I stay in here and I don't bother them, I'm okay. Okay? So please, keep me in your prayers, and if you can, just help me out with some more. This is all to my friends. Many of them, they know me. Okay? And it says account number 1014. Well, you can read it. I'm a bit dizzy because it's so late at night now. So if you can, just this is only to my friends, okay? And the money is not meant for it's meant for me to sustain myself throughout this 2 weeks of solitary confinement and quarantine. Okay, bye for now.